Hello and welcome, beautiful humans and friends. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Amy, and we're going to be moving through a grounding yoga practice today. If you're experiencing any feelings of uneasiness or anxiety, this is a great practice to help bring you back to self and to feel that connection to earth. Today we're going to begin in easy sit, Sukhasana, sitting nice and tall, rooting through the sit bones, lengthening through the spine, and reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. As we arrive into the space, begin to shift your awareness inwards. Anchor through the sit bones, lengthen through the spine, and reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Feel the subtleties like the air upon your skin and the breath moving in and out of your body. Taking a moment to remember that you are as much a part of Earth as Earth is a part of you. Taking a quick inventory of how you're feeling today in this moment on an emotional, mental, and physical level. And knowing that wherever you're at in this moment is perfect. Sitting up nice and tall, focusing on the breath. Rooting through the sit bones, adjusting where necessary. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's go ahead and reach our fingertips down to the earth, elongating through the spine. Taking another deep breath in and nice long exhale. Relax the shoulders away from the ears and reach down through the fingertips. Take one more deep inhale and exhale, and then begin to walk the hands out in front of you, coming forward as far as possible and dropping the head between the biceps. Relax here, root into the earth, and breathe. Breathe between the shoulder blades, into the sides. Feel your belly expand and contract. Press down through the hands, fingers are wide. Come up on tented fingers like mountaintops, and then inhale as you tilt the chin forward. Then exhale as you tilt the chin down. Repeat this movement, linking the breath. Inhale, lifting the chin, tilting the back of the skull back. And exhale, bringing the chin down. You can go ahead, lower the hands, pull them in towards self, and then we'll go ahead and switch the leg positioning, bringing the hands back out as you walk them forward. Again, tilting the chin, biceps are beside the ears, and relaxing. Rooting the sit bones down into the earth, taking a breath here. Come back up onto your fingertips like mountaintops. Inhale, tilt the chin back. Exhale, tilt the chin down. Inhale, tilt back. And exhale, bring it down. Pushing down through those fingertips, down into the mat with your sacrum. Inhale, tilt the chin up. And exhale, bring it down. Staying up on those fingertips, let's slowly walk our way over to the side. Getting a deep stretch through the side body, we'll repeat the movement using our breath. Inhaling, tilting the chin up, and holding here in a twisted position. We'll then walk our hands over on tented fingers to the other side. Inhale, tilt the chin up and hold here. Keep the chest lifted for a stretch through the side body in a twist. Holding here for a second. Then we'll begin to walk our fingertips back to center. Put the hands down onto the ground and pull the hands up, all the way up the body. Inhale, reaching out through those fingertips overhead, bringing the hands into prayer and pulling down the midline to heart center. Pausing for a moment at heart center, thumbs against the sternum, feeling the beating of your heart and finding the energy of gratitude. Let's begin to take some wrist activations, rolling the backs of the wrists together away from self. Bring the elbows out and then the forearms together as you roll the wrists, keeping them touching at all times. Fanning through the fingers. We'll switch directions, coming into yourself. Again, fingers are wide, wrists remain touching, flaring the elbows out and bringing the forearms together. Breathing, sitting up nice and tall. Let's interlace our fingers together, bring the forearms towards one another, and just begin to take some circles through the wrists. Keeping it nice and light, let's inhale, open up towards the sky, reaching through the fingertips. Take one hand down to the ground as you open up through the side body and reach actively through your fingertips. Belly button is drawn into the spine. Work that hand on the ground out towards the side and use it as leverage as you push down into the earth. Take a nice deep inhale here. And on your next exhale, let's reach our fingertips down towards the ground, grazing the fingertips. And then inhaling the arm back overhead, repeating this movement. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, bring it up and over. Push down through the hand and cartwheel the arms over to the other side as you inhale. Place the other hand down onto the ground. Root down through your sit bones. Reach actively through your fingertips and take some nice deep breaths. Open up into the heart space and shine your heart forward, pressing down into the ground, feeling that connection. Let's twist and bring the arm down, repeating the same sequence, raising the fingertips towards the earth, twisting through the torso. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open it back up. Push your way off of that hand, bringing the arms open, palms facing up. Exhale, close. Give yourself a big hug. Inhale, open those arms back up, pulling the chest forward, shoulder blades together. Exhale, rounding through the shoulders, close. Give yourself that big hug, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone. Inhale, open, palms facing up, chest and heart come forward. Exhale, rounding, closing, tucking the tailbone and the chin. Taking in all that self-love. Inhale, open, pulling the chest forward. Exhale, close. Just marinating for a moment in your own energy, hugging yourself as if you'd hug a loved one. And then open those arms back up, bringing the hands down to the front of your mat, coming onto all fours. We'll stack the knees under the hips and the wrists under the shoulders. Feel free to tuck the toes or leave the tops of the feet onto the top of the mat. Inhale, take your gaze up into cow pose, arching the spine, tailbone lifts. Exhale, pushing the ground away, tucking the chin, maybe coming up onto tented fingertips as you round through the spine and tuck the tailbone. Inhale, come back into cow, tilt the tailbone up, chin up. Exhale, round. Pull the belly button up, round through the spine. Come up onto tented fingertips. Inhale, cow. Tail and head are lifted. Exhale, push the ground away. Come up onto tented fingers. Pull the belly button up into the spine. Inhale, cow. Shoulders away from the ears, arc through the spine. Coming up into cat, onto the fingertips, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Beginning to find some dynamic movement here, taking some circles side to side, shifting the shoulders forward over the wrists, past the wrists, and then we'll take it around in the other direction. Linking the breath, feeling your connection to earth, and allowing your body to move organically. Shifting our awareness into our rib cage, let's go ahead and draw nice big circles, isolating the ribs, dropping the chest down, then pulling the back up towards the sky. Feel free to get your head and your neck into the mix as well. Again, just allowing your body to move through time and space organically and authentically. Linking the breath, dropping the chest, lifting the spine up. Let's go ahead and change directions. Drawing nice big circles with the spine, allowing the head and the neck to move freely. Belly button is drawn up into the spine, pushing down through the hands firmly into the ground. And just taking whatever your body needs here. Moving back through tabletop, let's shift our hips back into the heels and walk our hands out in front of us into a child's pose. Lightly lower the head to the mat, calming the central nervous system. You can widen the knees, breathing deeply into the back body here, breathing into the space between the shoulder blades, into the side bodies, focusing on long exhales. If you'd like to get a deeper stretch, go ahead and come up onto tented fingers. Take your gaze forward between the hands, getting a nice deep stretch through the chest and the armpit area. Holding here. Really feeling into the stretch. Taking a couple of last breaths here. And we'll move our way into a puppy pose, making sure the knees are stacked under the hips. We'll walk our hands out. Now this can be a little bit intense, so just listen to your body. Walking the hands out to the front of the mat, biceps by the ears. You can drop your forehead down to the mat, hips stacked over knees, and just allowing your body to fully surrender. If this feels a little uncomfortable, you can always stack your arms underneath your forehead to bring you up a little bit higher. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can come onto tented fingertips and take your gaze between the hands, creating more space for your chest and your body to come through and getting a deeper stretch. From this position, take one arm out straight from the shoulder and then thread it through underneath the armpit of the other arm. Feeling into this stretch, you can go ahead and take your cheek down to the mat if that feels good for you. Taking one final breath here. Then we'll go ahead and unthread the arm, bringing it back out to the side and placing it overhead. Repeating this movement on the other side, take the other arm straight out from the shoulder and then thread it underneath the armpit, bringing your cheek down to the mat if that feels comfortable. Stacking the knees under the hips, pressing down through the hand above the head, feeling your connection grounding down into the earth. We'll take one more deep breath here. And then unthread the arm and place it back overhead, moving through puppy pose. Shifting down onto the forearms and lowering our hips and belly to the earth, widening the legs, let's tap our feet to ground in, coming into our Sphinx pose. Press down firmly through the forearms and down through the tops of the thighs, lowering the shoulders away from the ears. Finding some dynamic movement, shift side to side on the elbows. Take your gaze side to side, and then come back into Sphinx pose. Pulling the chest forward, pressing down through forearms, shoulders away from the ears, taking a few deep breaths here. If you feel called to deepen the stretch, go ahead and press down through your hands, straightening your arms, bringing your forearms off of the ground. You can walk your hands closer into self if this feels good for you. Pressing down through the hands, shoulders away from the ears, let's tilt our chin down and back. Down and back. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the chin down. Lower back down slowly, elbows in nice and tight to the sides. Stack the hands underneath the shoulders and come up into a baby cobra. Be sure to let your glutes be somewhat relaxed here. Inhale, come up, lift the chest, press down through the hands and slowly undulate down. Press down through those hands. Inhale up, baby cobra. Slowly lower down. Elbows are pointing back behind you. Moving into a scorpion stretch. Extend one arm out from the shoulder. Rolling onto that side and bringing your leg back behind you, setting your foot down on the ground if possible. Your other hand can be supporting you in front and keeping your cheek to the mat. Let's take some nice deep breaths here, feeling a deep stretch through our sides, through our pec muscles, and breathing. Bring the leg back over, come back onto your belly, repeating on the other side. Place your hand on the outside of the mat as you roll onto your other side body, bringing the leg back behind you. Getting a nice deep stretch. You can place your cheek to the ground if that feels good for you. Nice deep breathing here. Play around with the foot placement behind you. And if you're not able to get your leg behind you, that's perfectly fine. You're still getting the benefit of the posture. And breathe. Bring the leg back onto the mat, onto your belly. Tent the fingertips on the outside of the mat. Point the elbow tips up towards the sky. Tilt the chin down as you come into funky cobra, undulating up and slowly working your way down. Tuck the chin as you rise. Chin raises at the last moment as you come down. Use your breath, link the breath with this movement. Funky cobra. Taking some shoulder dips side to side, bending through the elbows, looking back behind you. Taking whatever expression of this variation feels good for you. And undulating back down, forehead comes down to the mat. Take your hands back behind you, palms facing down, down by the hips. Let's take some breaths here with the forehead pressing down into the earth, feeling that sensation of grounding. Remembering that you are one with earth and earth is one with you. And on your next breath, let's take our hands under the shoulders, elbows pointing back. We'll send our hips back and come into a child's pose. Reach the arms out in front of you, palms facing down, widen the fingers, forehead comes to the mat, knees are wide, breathing into the back. Allowing that calm, that peace to come over you. Perhaps rolling your forehead side to side on the ground. Or just finding some stillness with the breath. Focusing on nice deep inhales and slow exhales. On your next inhale, let's come up onto the knees. Drag the hands up the body, inhale overhead and roll the wrists down. Bringing the legs out in front of you, coming onto your sit bones. Pull the flesh out from underneath you if you need to. Reach the arms up and forward fold. You can keep a deep bend in the knees here, whatever feels best for you. Think about pulling your chest forward, chin is lifted, inhale, and then exhale coming down, however feels best for you. Really using the breath here, with every inhale, with every breath, trying to straighten the knees, maybe one at a time, and maybe just kissing them down to the ground ever so lightly. Pulling on your toes or holding your ankles, your calves, wherever you're at. Moving back into a seated position, sweep the arms back behind you, sitting up nice and tall, coming into Dandasana. Lift the chest, elongate through the spine, reach the crown of the head towards the sky, flex the feet, keep the legs energized, belly buttons drawing into the spine. Come up onto tented fingertips as you elongate through the spine even more. Go ahead and bring the legs up in towards your chest. Press down through hands and take it into a little crab walk. Come into the center of your mat. Lower yourself down. Knees are bent, feet flat on the ground, and slowly lower, challenging your core as you reach towards your feet. And then we'll bring the arms overhead and sweep them down by the hips. Take the feet flat onto the ground, walk them in so they're a couple of inches away from your glutes. Make sure that your low back is flush against the mat, and we'll come up into a bridge pose. Squeezing the glutes, pressing down through the feet actively, down through the heels and the arches and the toes. Squeeze the glutes. Keep the core pulled in, coming up onto the tops of the shoulders. Nice deep breaths as you slowly release down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Go ahead and draw your right knee into chest, giving yourself a little hug. And then your left knee into chest, giving yourself another little hug. Lots of self-love this practice. Come into a happy baby. Soles of the feet come up towards the sky. Knees are wide on the outside of the ribs. Think about pulling down through the feet, drawing the knees down towards the earth. And shifting side to side in your happy baby. Perhaps bending and straightening the legs. Rolling side to side. Expressing yourself however you feel in this happy baby posture, and then draw the right knee back into self. Extend the left leg long and pull the right knee across the body. Supine twist, open up that right arm. Your palms can be up or down, whatever feels best for you in this stretch. Take some nice deep breaths, belly button drawn into the spine, and then pull that knee back into the chest as you come back over, and switch the legs. Pull the left knee into self, extend the right leg long, and pull that right knee over the body. Open up the arm, again palm facing up or down. Belly button is drawn in. Try to get that knee all the way down to the earth. Nice deep breaths in this posture. Supine twist. And on your next breath, we'll go ahead and bring that knee back across and extend both of the legs long. Inhale, reach those fingertips overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Make your toes as far away from your hands as possible. And then as you exhale, bring those hands down by your hips, down by your sides for our final resting pose, Savasana, palms facing up or down. Allowing your body to fully relax and surrender to download all of these yummy poses into your cells, your muscles, your tissues. And if your body is feeling into a longer Shavasana, please be sure to honor that. Otherwise, we'll just take a couple of breaths here together. And on your next inhale, go ahead, bring the knees up into the chest and roll onto one side. Taking a fetal position here, taking a pause, a couple of breaths, and then making our way into seated whenever you are ready to close out our practice. Making our way to a seated position, Sukhasana, easy sit, rooting through the sit bones, lengthening through the spine. Let's sweep our arms up as we inhale, taking the hands to prayer above our head and pulling it down to heart center. Bowing our head in gratitude and humility. The divinity within me honors the divinity within you. Namaste. Thank you so much, friends and family, for joining me today. I hope you were able to find some peace and grounding in today's practice. Sending you so much love. Mwah! Be sure to like, share, and subscribe below or leave your questions and comments.